Good morning, friends. Welcome to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. Our number today, 844-236-6010. 844-236-6010. If you have questions, comments, success stories you'd like to share, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470 to purchase your longevity products or to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team. If you'd like to start a home-based business, if you'd like to be in the billion-dollar nutritional business, the longevity business opportunity is something that you at least want to take a look at. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Our number today, 844-236-6010. We'll get to your calls in our next segment. We'll be speaking to Jim Poole, who is the CEO of NewCalm, newcalm.com. NewCalm is a neuroscience technology designed to help you get into meditation, to enjoy the benefits of meditation without having to be a Zen monk or having to struggle. A lot of people struggle to meditate. I've always considered meditation to be probably the single most powerful health strategy you could employ. Just as powerful, in my opinion, as nutritional supplementation. Maybe just a hair underneath in the hierarchy of things you could do for your health and longevity. Meditation is probably just a hair under nutritional supplementation, but certainly it's close. Meditation can help you sleep. It can help you boost your immune system, boost your energy levels. It can help you with clarity. It can help you reduce symptoms. If you're dealing with a health challenge, it can help reverse health challenges for that matter because of its powerful effect on biochemistry. NewCalm is a way to hack into your meditative brain state using your phone and a couple little pieces of equipment. We'll talk to Jim Poole about NewCalm, newcalm.com. And at the bottom of the hour, we'll get your calls in our next segment, 844-236-6010. So we have been talking about antibiotics, vaccinations, medicalization. Last we spoke, we talked about fish farming and medication. Fish farming, farmed fish account for most of the fish that we eat, and fish farms are the aquatic equivalent of factory farms. Fish tend to be sick and prone to infection when they're farmed. They're packed together. They're subject to lice infestations. They're literally swimming in their own toxicity and their own waste. They're swimming in the remains of putrefying dead fish, all of which accumulate in localized farmed areas. For all these reasons, fish farmers have to depend on antibiotics as much as factory farmers do. Salmon, as it turns out, are among the most toxic of the farmed fish, and we're always told about how good salmon is, and salmon should be a great fish. Salmon's got wonderful omega fats in it, and it's a good source of vitamin D. It's an excellent source of protein, vitamin E, vitamin A. Salmon should be an ideal food source. Unfortunately, farmed salmon are among the most toxic of all fish. Toxicology testing of farmed salmon shows that this supposedly healthy fish, which theoretically should be good for us as a source of wonderful nutrients, is one of the most poisonous foods on the planet, with 8 times more PCBs, polychlorinated polyphenols, which come from transformers and other electrical equipment, than their wild cousins. Now, wild salmon, that's an awesome food source. I eat wild salmon a couple times a week, at least, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. Of course, you're going to deal with a lot of the stuff that's in the oceans, but you gotta pick your battles these days with how toxic our environment is. 8 times more polychlorinated polyphenols, PCBs, than wild salmon in the farm salmon. PCBs are industrial waste. They're used in various electrical equipment, transformers, flame retardants, and they're often dumped into the water, these PCBs. There's very poor regulation on PCB dumping, and PCB industrial waste is unfortunately a major source of fish toxicity. And because PCBs are fat soluble, they dissolve very effectively into the tissues of fatty fish like salmon, which should be really good. I mean, that's some good fat in fatty fish, unless it has PCBs in it. PCBs are tasteless, so you don't know you're ingesting them. PCBs can suppress the immune system, so it makes you more prone towards viral infections and other infections for that matter. PCBs can suppress the thyroid, so it makes you more prone towards hypothyroidism. Here you are eating salmon because you think it's a good fish, and you may be ingesting thyroid and immune suppressing contaminants. PCBs, by the way, are especially toxic to the liver and to the skin. One of the classic signs associated with PCB exposure is acne. And one has to wonder if kids or even adults who are dealing with adult acne are really, at least partially, being affected by the ingestion of polychlorinated polyphenols, PCBs. Any case, polychlorinated bromophenols, actually. PCBs, polychlorinated bromophenols. I believe that's what it is, what it stands for. In any case, they're pretty darn toxic. They're found in the water. It's a contaminant. And fish, especially fatty fish, are a major source of human ingestion. We treat diseases with drugs, and then we need more drugs to treat ensuing drug-related diseases. And all we are probably dealing with in many ways is poor lifestyle choices, including exposure to toxins. We use medicines to deal with the result of toxicity in animals, and then we eat those animals and fish and become toxic from the medications that are used to treat the initial toxicity. So you take antibiotics because you want to take care of your cold, but now you end up with digestive problems, so you have to take more drugs to take care of your digestive problems. Can you see what's happening here? Can you see the flaws and fallacies of using medicine to deal with crises caused by lifestyle, caused by civilization, caused by industry? A pharmacomedical cure for everything that ails us, whether it's toxicity or whether it's stressors or whether it's infectious agents in fish and in seafood or viruses or bacteria or stress or toxins in the environment, that's called medicalization. A pharmacomedical cure for everything is medicalization and pharmacalization. The idea that there's a medical and drug solution for every problem. This idea, in addition to being wrong, is that there's a drug or medical solution for every challenge, is a problem. It doesn't work, and especially in the case of chronic long-term health challenges, diabetes, autoimmunity, neurological issues. But even more importantly, the idea that we can go to a doctor or a pharmacy to be, quote, cured, unquote, which no one ever says, but they're implying by marketing, it's disempowering. First of all, it's wrong. It doesn't work. But second of all, it's disempowering. It takes our power away from us. It takes our power to control our lives and how our bodies show up in the world away from us. It allows us to say, you fix us. You fix me. I can't do it. It's wrong, number one, and it's disempowering, number two. It permits abdication of responsibility for our health. It allows us to abdicate responsibility for ourselves. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will return right after this. We are back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get to your calls here in just a moment. We'll be talking to Jim Poole of NuCalm, the CEO of NuCalm. NuCalm is a meditative device. It features patches and a electrical stimulator and headphones, and it allows you to tap into the brainwave states that are associated with the meditative state, alpha and theta brainwave states. I imagine I'll talk to Jim about that. Usually it's alpha and theta brainwaves. Alpha brainwaves and theta brainwaves are your relaxing brainwaves as opposed to beta brainwaves, which most of us are in most of the time, which are associated with problem solving and living our lives day to day. You can activate alpha in a lot of different ways. Learning to activate alpha, going into alpha state, is really it's very helpful for dealing with the ups and downs, the stresses of daily life. And there's a lot of ways you can hack into alpha pretty quickly. If you focus out of the sides of your eyes, you'll activate alpha. Beta brain waves are activated by focusing in the center of your eyes. But if you focus out of the sides of your eyes, you'll activate an alpha brainwave state. Breathing can activate alpha brainwave states. And of course, meditation is one of the best ways to activate an alpha brainwave state. And apparently, according to NuCalm anyway, using the CES device and the mask and the headphones and the software that they provide. And they also have, by the way, a monthly subscription that you can enjoy for $29.99 a month. You can enjoy the benefits of NuCalm. We'll talk to Jim Poole about his device. newcolumn.com is the website, and we'll get your calls here in just a moment. So I've been on this bandwagon. I've been talking about this idea of medicalization as a form of disempowerment for a long time. To me, that's the most insidious effect of the idea that we can just go to the doctor and fix us for whatever is wrong with us. First of all, it doesn't work. Medicalization doesn't work. Let's be clear about that. We've got so many devices and so much insurance and so many different forms of medicine and ways of treating disease, but we're all sick and nobody's getting better. Clearly, medicalization doesn't work. Clearly, pharmacalization doesn't work. But worse, it permits us to abdicate responsibility for ourselves. This whole viral infection thing is a classic example. Medicine is great for certain things, but for preventing viral infections and bacterial infections, that's not a medical issue. That shouldn't be a medical issue. We just assume that doctors are there to keep us from getting sick, but that's not what they're there for. They're there to prevent us from, to reduce suffering. They're there to fix us if we're broken, not to protect us from life. What we want to learn to do is we want to learn to assess what's going on inside our bodies. We want to learn to be responsive to our bodies. There's a lesson hidden with most health challenges that involves something about how we're living our lives. It always boils down to something about how we're living our lives. Being prone towards infections involves how we're living our lives. Of course, the United States, with 4% or 5% of the world's population, has 20% of the infections because we just have this ridiculously toxic lifestyle. Of course, we're going to be sick when a viral infection occurs because we're sick anyway. I talk to people all the time who are dealing with some kind of intractable health condition, and most of them want the latest device or the latest medicine or the latest therapy or the latest herb or the latest supplement to make their problem go away. The vast majority of people are not looking to change their lifestyle. They're looking for the latest remedy. And of course, this approach is understandable because that's what we're told. We're told you got to take this for that. Oh, you have this problem? Take that pill. Oh, you have this problem? Take that supplement. I call that this for that. This for that is allopathic. It occurs in the world of nutrition as allopathic nutrition. It's all about allopathy. Allopathy. Allo means against, path means disease. We're always fighting disease. We're not supporting our body's ability to deal with disease, or we're not supporting our body's ability to keep disease from occurring in the first place. We're always fighting disease. And this approach doesn't work. This paradigm is wrong. It doesn't work. It's a model. It's a paradigm. It's not about individual doctors here. It's easy to get irritated, I'll say, about the arrogance of certain medical professionals, but it's not about the individuals. Most doctors are beautiful people, good people, kind people. They want to help. They want to make a difference. It's the model. It's the paradigm that says that we fight disease, that we don't build our bodies, we fight the enemy. We don't build our defenses, we fight the outside world. You're never going to be better by fighting anything. Fighting creates stress. You want to learn to make your body strong so it can do the fighting. We don't want to do the fighting. We want to let our body do the fighting. It's got 3.5 billion years of cellular evolution that knows how to deal with anything. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow on the bright side. Jim Poole coming up at the bottom of the hour. Let's go to Rob in Ontario and say good morning. What's up, my friend? Thank you, Rob, for hooking me up with those with Judy and Sean. Although they have
good morning, Ben. Yeah,
yes.
Nice talking to you again. I'm very interested in hearing what Doc Baker and especially Judy as well too has to say about that. I'm actually a carboholic. So my name is Rob. I'm a carboholic.
I love it.
Get into that later on. The dangers of carbs in our system and that.
No, that's not carbs. It's not carbs, Rob. It's refined carbs.
That's right. Well,
right? Vegetables are carbs. So when you say no, when you don't want to lump all carbs together, it's the processed carbs, excuse me, that are really the problem. Even grains are not as much of a problem as the refined grains. Although grains do have some problems, of course.
I disagree with that. So
yeah, tell me, why do you disagree? Let me hear your take on it.
There's so many different problems with grains, just besides gluten as well too. But there are so many issues as well, including the opioid effect of grains. And
that doesn't make. Now, hang on though, Rob. Opioid effects are not necessarily a problem unless you overdo it. Small amounts of, so the problem isn't the grains themselves. It's the processed grains, and it's the overuse of grains, overdependence on them. But small amounts of grains are have incredible nutritional value. I don't want to. Small amounts of grains have incredible nutritional value. Really, they're densely packed with nutrients. Grains, especially the bran and the germ. The bran and the germ are incredible. And the endosperm, which is the outside part of the grain, that's very rich in sugar. But the bran and the germ is packed with nutrition, like loaded, really dense. Go ahead, though. That's not what you call it.
Our society is based on grains right now: wheat, barley, rye, oats, even corn.
Yeah. Read a book called there's a really absolutely, you're 100% correct. There's a really cool book called Empires of Grain. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't read that.
It talks about the politics of grains and how all the empires throughout history, from the Sumerians to the Egyptians to the Chinese to the British to the United States, all the empires throughout history were empires of grain. They depended on grain for their wealth. In fact, they used to use in Sumeria, in Egypt, they actually used to use grain as money. That's That's how valued grains were. So that's the problem, is the overdependence on them. I apologize. We're out of time. I love when you call, though. You got great things to say. Can I get you to call back tomorrow?
I'll call back tomorrow. I have a lot to say about medicalization and antibiotics.
I love it. I'll give you some airtime tomorrow.
Okay, hey, Carl, tomorrow then.
All right, buddy. Carl, the Truth Raider, I apologize. I meant to get to you, but give me a call back tomorrow, okay, buddy? Apologize for that. All right, we got Jim Poole coming up next. Don't go away. All right, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive pages, benfuchsarchives.com and brightsideben.com. If you want to purchase longevity products, you can purchase longevity products off the websites as well. brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites. And if you'd like to purchase our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, water, silicone, vegetable oil, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our Truth Skin Health products. Check out all the products at truthtreatments.com, all formulated in my compounding pharmacy. And you can take a look at our 1,500 plus 4- and 5-star reviews. They come in every day, and they are amazing reviews. And they're all over the top, really. It just blows me away how powerful, how effective, and the kind of results people are getting from our Truth Skin Health products. You can check out the reviews at truthreviewed.com, and purchase Truth Treatments at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so I have been a believer in meditation. I've had a meditation practice now for 30 years. I meditate every morning, and it's just an invaluable part of my life, and I crave it. I miss it when I don't meditate. Sometimes I'll just stop in the middle of the day and meditate. It's just an amazing tool for health, for longevity, for stress relief, for mental health, for anxiety, for sleep. Helps you fall asleep. It's amazing. Once you learn how to get into a meditative state, you can fall asleep almost anywhere. You fall asleep at will. It's just a powerful strategy. It's been known about for thousands of years, and for good reason. But yet people have a hard time meditating. So I'm always curious about meditative strategies and meditative techniques. And that's why I'm excited about our next guest. He's got a system that involves electrical stimulation. It's very easy. I've been looking into it and doing some research on it. It's a very simple way to hack into brainwave states. And that's really what meditation is about. It's about brainwave states. The alpha state and the theta state are the meditative states. Most of the time we go through our life, the day we go through our lives in this beta state, which is associated with anxiety. It's a state that's associated with life and problem solving and dealing with things that go on in our day-to-day lives, but it's also associated with stress. And learning to access the alpha state and the theta state is a powerful health strategy. I'm always looking for ways to do that. That's what this device does that our next guest is going to talk about. His website is newcalm.com, and that's NUCALM. The device is Newcalm, and the CEO of Newcalm is Jim Poole. Please welcome Jim Poole to the bright side. Hey, Jim.
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
I am doing great. So good to talk to you. We've chatted a little bit in the past. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background with meditation, and then we'll talk about your device.
Cool. My background with meditation would, I think, be categorized as a failure. I'm 52 years old. I was born with an identical twin brother, raised with a high level of ambition, aggression. I was a wrestler for 20 plus years and then got into martial arts. That was when I was introduced to the concept of meditation. I never found it, I never could really do it, to be honest with you. I remember the first few times that we were forced to meditate, I basically had an anxiety attack, closing my eyes and letting my world spin around. So personally, I've never been a successful meditator. I think in my business career prior to this company, my background's in Wall Street private equity banking, definitely could have used meditation and used the opportunity to kind of flip the switch on brainwave function. But to be honest, absolutely, I would fall in probably the 75% category of humanity that is either gives up too quickly on it or just feels incapable of it, and then it follows a path of failure, shame, guilt, that cycle of I can't do this or can't make the time to do it. And it's funny, Ben, because you think back and you say, well, I'm 52 years old. Now that I understand the anatomy and physiology of mindfulness and the expression of being able to balance the autonomic nervous system and how valuable it is, boy, was I young, naive, and self-absorbed to think I didn't have time to take care of that side of the equation. But I think a lot of it lends to the fact that people just don't understand. They don't understand the complexity of the central nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. They don't understand the benefit of being able to pull the plug and shut down your brain and allow you to be in that space where you're accessing your breath, you're feeling the biorhythm of your heart and your lungs. And so that's my human failure as a meditator. It was never for me. And that's why this technology is so important to somebody like me, because I'm never going to really engage in the practice. I just won't do it. And so this technology allows me to access depths of brainwave function synonymous with being a monk without having to take that path.
So for people who know about the benefits of meditation, want to enjoy the benefits of meditation, but just can't get themselves to do it, thus New Calm. Tell us a little bit about what your device is and what it does.
Awesome. New Calm is it's pretty amazing. It's going to sound like magic, and it's going to sound too good to be true, but we're 19 years in making, $25 million to get here. This used to be a highly regulated Class 3 medical device approved by the FDA, approved by Health Canada, approved by the U.S. military, approved by the Chinese national government as a replacement for meditation in China under traditional Chinese medicine. You don't get these approvals without hardcore neuroscience. It was invented by quantum physicist, neuroscientist, naturopath, Dr. G. Blake Holloway, an exceptionally gifted intellect, but also a very compassionate clinical healer. He worked in the space of trauma. So his client portfolio over 42 years of service was focused on trauma and traumatized veterans coming out of the theater of war, and then traumatized females and males as a result of systematic abuse, psychological, sexual, physical abuse. So my background prior to being a business person, I was raised by two psychotherapists, and I myself was a psychotherapist in the state mental health institutions of Massachusetts. So I'm pretty well versed in the continuum of the 7 diagnosable anxiety disorders. Understanding this and understanding that this technology was invented over a 25-year invention arc to serve PTSD comorbid with addiction, that was kind of the genesis of what got me so excited. If a technology can help resolve and help create a baseline therapeutic value to the most traumatized brain on the planet, it can help humanity. So that's how this all started. I took over the company as chairman of the board, president, and CEO on October 26, 2009. And this is hardcore neuroscience. We're going to talk about how it works and the scientific piece behind it. But this has all been a scientific method. We've worked with some of the best scientists, academicians, and doctors in the world, doing very, very high-level, irrefutable, quantified evidence to be awarded the only patents in the world. And so when you think about New Calm, it's going to sound like magic because the value proposition is so powerful. This isn't. This is 19 years of hardcore neuroscience with an advisory board of 52 of the world's top doctors and all the regulatory you can think of. In fact, this evening I'm heading down to Quantico, and tomorrow I work with the FBI all day. So we've been working with the military to help them in the space of expedited recovery without drugs. Now you, because of your meditation background and your experience and your intellect, you understand the value of meditation. The folks in the DOD,
not so much.
Folks in FBI, they know they need expedited recovery without drugs. They're not going to learn to meditate with any sense of ease.
Jim, hang on to that thought. We got to take a break. Hang on to that thought. We got Jim Poole with us, newcalm.com. We'll be back with more of Jim Poole on the bright side right after this. Okay, we're back on the bright side. We're talking to Jim Poole of New Calm. Newcalm.com is the website. So, Jim, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You were saying you're going down to Quantico to talk to the DOD or the FBI. Just finish your story up real quick, and let's talk about the device.
We work with the FBI. We work with the DOD. We work with professional athletes. Essentially, it allows them the opportunity for expedited recovery without drugs. We push really hard. We ask a lot of our DOD military operators. And nobody really manages stress well and has good sleep quality. So that's what we're doing, and we've been doing that for a while. But let me talk through how New Calm works, because the whole goal of New Calm is to slow down your brainwave function into alpha and theta. This is really a Herculean task. You can liken it to the opposite effect of caffeine. You wake up, you're tired, your brain's not functioning that well. You have some caffeine in coffee, and all of a sudden you're thinking more clearly. That's not by a miracle or magic. We simply increase the brainwave frequency from 12 hertz up to 15 to 16 hertz. New Calm is going to do the opposite approach, but it's going to do this in daylight when cortisol is heavy and your body wants to kind of push through your to-do list. The brain is the most complicated organ in the history of this planet. To think that we could entrain you or bring your brainwave function into theta with just a singular element, it would be foolhardy. It just doesn't work that way. So New Calm is a 1 + 1 + 1 does not equal 3 system. It's a 1 + 1 + 1 equals like 7. Okay, so the synergistic impact of New Calm is designed to predictably slow your brainwave function down, because as you know, when your brainwave function is in theta, your body is in what's called the healing zone. Your cells are cleaning their toxins, your mitochondria is restored, you're breathing at a rate of 1 breath every 10 seconds, and the entire enterprise of your body is oxygenating. So how do we do this? The brain and body communicate only two ways, and 2 ways only. It's not up for debate. There's chemical messaging and there's electrical messaging. New Calm does both channels. There's a biosignal processing disc that's placed on your inner left wrist at what's called the pericardium 6 acupressure point. This disc is serving as like a tuning fork or bioresonance and presenting your brain with a signal that activates the brain's GABAergic system. The GABAergic system is kind of the antithesis of the adrenals. It slows down or interrupts the HPA axis and slows down the secretion of adrenaline. This is kind of, you would think about this as having a glass of wine or two. But when you activate the GABAergic system naturally, there's no cognitive impairment. We want to begin the relaxation response through the chemical messaging. The second component is really easy to understand. You can't relax with your eyes open. We're visually stimulated by light. More than 40% of the cerebral cortex is the visual cortex. You wouldn't rest, you wouldn't meditate, you wouldn't sleep with your eyes open. So we have an eye mask. And the third component is really the truth and the method of action of New Calm. There's over $5 million of patented physics, mathematics, and algorithms in a software platform. Then we compose music on top of that. We're going to use your ears to present the brain with a signal. The brain at the caudate nucleus receives this signal, and we're essentially pacing your brainwave and slowing it down into alpha and theta.
Entrainment.
Okay? It's entrainment. So the beauty of this is 2 things. 1, 12 hertz down to 4 hertz is inaudible to the human ear. You can't hear what we're doing. 2, the complexity of the physics and mathematics is constantly tricking the brain. So the binaural signal processing, or binaural beat, was discovered by a German scientist in 1839, and there are a lot of apps out there that present binaural beat. That's
HemiSync, like HemiSync.
Yep. The Monroe Institute, and there's some There's some scientific groups and there's some, just typical apps. Here's the complexity. In a simple app, if you just say, hey, I'm going to present your brain with 8 hertz near the Schumann resonance, that's fine. The first time you use it, it'll work really well. The second time you use it, it may work pretty well. The third time you use it, it won't work well at all. If you don't have complexity in the mathematics and the presentation to the brain, the reticular activating system, which is the body's filtration system, will figure out the pattern, recognize the pattern, and find a shortcut. That is where NuCalm is so differentiated. Not only is NuCalm the only patented system in the world for balancing the health of the human autonomic nervous system, but the methods and the physics used are also patented. So clearly we've defined and showed to the world that there's never been anything prior to NuCalm like it, and never anything efficacious. This is really important because, as you know better than most, if you balance the autonomic nervous system and you're able to manage the stress response, you live a better life. You have better, reduction in inflammation. You've got stronger resiliency. You're going to be better mentally, physically, and psychologically. And that's the key. So this technology is using biochemistry and physics to slow down your body and allow you to take a forced break where your body can heal. And you would use NuCalm anytime from when you wake up to about 7 o'clock at night. And according to our research at Harvard Medical School and NASA, 20 minutes of NuCalm is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. Not just sleep, but the healthiest restorative sleep. So
I love
that's the value of using, yes.
I love this idea of mixing it up in the algorithms, like PX82. Have you heard of PX82, that workout program where they mix? It's the same kind of concept, except with the brain. It's like you don't let the brain plateau or get used to one thing, so it can filter it out. So it's always mixing it up. Is that the secret to what makes NuCalm different?
That is the secret sauce. I've been using NuCalm for 11 and a half years, and I even know the math. I know all the elements of the product, and my brain still falls for it every time. It's called a nonlinear oscillating algorithm. The mathematics is constantly in movement. And also, interestingly enough, Ben, the melodies are mixed up as well. As soon as you get emotionally attached to a melody in a song, your brain is controlling your body again. So even in the tracks, there's a constant movement.
That's brilliant.
It is brilliant. Dr. Holloway is an exceptionally gifted human being, and I don't know a lot of people that will spend 20 to 30 years of their life inventing something to basically override the human autonomic nervous system, which is 40 million years evolved.
Right.
I can't overstate the importance of balance in the autonomic nervous system. Whether you do it through mindfulness or NuCalm, it doesn't matter to me how you do it, but you got to do it. Yeah,
absolutely. We talk about that all the time. The parasympathetic nervous system and the vagal system. So we only have a couple minutes here, but tell us the practical side of things. What is the device? How do you get the device? And then you have a subscription, which is kind of fascinating. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do. NuCalm used to be a Class 3 highly regulated medical device sold for $6,000 and was complicated in 4 components. 4.5 years ago, we embarked on a really powerful journey to bring a 3-component, more portable, more affordable version of NuCalm to the world so we can take care of 7.6 billion people, not just a few thousand a year. So now you can go to our website, have access to NuCalm for as low as $39.99 a month. It comes with biosignal processing discs every month and access to the app. On the app, there's 3 categories, and there's a lifetime's worth of neuroacoustic software to take care of you. Ideally, when you get NuCalm, we recommend for people to use it on a daily basis for about 7 days straight. Give us the opportunity to balance all the stress that you've accumulated over your life, and then habitualize it as you see fit. But you go to the website, you buy the subscription. There's 3 monthly subscriptions. There's 3 annual subscriptions. And then every month, NuCalm biosignal processing discs arrive at your door with your eye mask, and all you need to bring is a mobile device and a pair of headphones, and we will take care of you. And 30 to 40 minutes a day, you get the benefit of meditating like a monk while living in capitalist America and continuing to do what you do.
I love it. How does those little discs connect with your phone? Do you need any special wiring or anything?
Nope, it doesn't at all. So the disc by itself is a standalone anxiolytic. That's activating the GABAergic system. It's a separate entity. Just the disc alone. It replaces what used to be a transdermal cream applied to your neck with a transcranial direct current stimulation device. So this is really just a nutrient path, and we're using methods that are 100 years old. This is George Lakhovsky and Nikola Tesla building multi-wave oscillators in the 1920s. It's been around for a while. It just hasn't been expertly put together. So that disc is a standalone to begin the relaxation response and activate the GABAergic system.
So you can get going for $28.99, basically.
Yeah, you can get going, yep.
Oh, that's awesome. And then how about the eye? Do you need to cover your eyes when you're using it? Or do you need some kind of eye cover?
In the initial package, you'll get literature, a quick start guide, you'll get access to the app, you'll get a premium eye mask that you'll wear every time you New Calm, and you'll get the discs. The monthly subscriptions come in New Calm 10, 20, or 30, and the number denotes the number of New Calm experiences you'll have per month. So if you get the New Calm 10, it comes with 10 biosignal processing discs. 20 comes with 20, 30 comes with 30.
And you can start off just with a 1 month deal, just experiment.
Yes, there's no obligation. Start
awesome.
it, enjoy it. We haven't met a lot of people who don't like stress management and sleep quality without drugs. So
I'm sure.
We're here to help.
Newcalm.com. That's NUCALM. Newcalm.com. Thank you so much for being on the bright side, Jim. Hey, stay by your phone. I'm going to give you a call. Okay, buddy?
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Thank you, Jim. Take care, bye. That was Jim Poole. The website is newcalm.com, NUCALM.com. Thank you so much for listening to The Bright Side, friends. I am Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to you later, folks. Bye for now.